Bottle for Oregon's, it's still messed up. I haven't figured out what to do with it. I took it all down, and I want to put it back up, but I'm not feeling it. I don't know. I want to do something different. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. Bob from Oregon's Constant Gardener. Welcome to the OCG Fam Show to you, my YouTube buddies. So, we've talked quite a bit about this, among other things, but the feed tea, feed flush. We've talked about that as kind of a principle, a main guiding principle of doing nectar for the gods. It works for most people. Some people do it a little differently, but that's kind of a common way of doing it. And when you do that, the flush and the tea are kind of about taking all that microbial stuff and using that to get any kind of nutrients that have kind of got stuck in the soil there that didn't get immediately uptaken to the plant, and either getting those out of there with a flush or getting them back into a form where the plant can take them up again, give it a second shot at them. But a lot of people like the teas with some sort of nutrient stuff in there, maybe using nectar for the gods, or maybe some other ways of doing that. And anyway, Scott and I talked about that a little bit, and I thought it was pretty interesting. I thought you might find it interesting, so I wanted to show you this clip, and I'll talk to you after. Robert Smith, got an important question for you guys. Using Boogie Brew for my compost tea. It is full-on aggressive tea. How does the nectar for the gods affect the feeding with such an aggressive tea? So he's feeding with his tea. I don't know the Boogie Brew.
Well,
I've heard of the Boogie Brew.
I've heard of them. Well, I mean, I know of them.
Yeah, I mean, it's not...
I mean, it's just a nutrient-dense compost tea.
So, are people that do the no-till or something, and they use their teas are all they're using, and so they're kind of... they're feeding when they're not by using an aggressive tea.
What they're doing is they're putting in... Well, yeah, I mean, if you're using a guano-style tea or there's some kind of nutritional value to the compost tea, then yeah, it's still a nutrient.
Yeah.
But if you're just brewing compost teas, aerated living teas... The super soil no-till guys, they've built up their soils with nutrition, so those guys go down and eat the stuff in the soil.
Right.
But I mean, I guess the question is, how does the
I have a question.
The feeding?
Well, the question is that we're doing a feed tea, feed flush as a regimen, and the tea we're doing is something to build microbial life in there that works a little bit like a flush to kind of eat a bunch of stuff up there. When you start doing that same thing with a tea that is also giving it nutrients, does that fuck up the system?
It shouldn't. I mean,
no.
I mean, I wouldn't do feed tea, feed flush anymore because they're focusing more on the teas than they are on the feed. So
yeah, so you would...
I would do like feed and then Herculean, Aphrodite's, Demeter's, Persephone feed.
Yeah.
Just to get... Because the one thing you don't have in any compost teas is high soluble forms of calcium. So if... That's what I'd use. This as my nitrogen, my phosphorus, my potassium, and then I'd come in with my forms of calcium that my plant can consume and absorb.
So they're eating up this stuff, and they're like, "Oh, this is great, but I don't have any calcium because they're eating such a big meal."
Yeah.
Okay. So, yes and no.
It's a tough one.
Yeah. You'd have to figure it out.
We have a lot of people that do it, but
yeah.
I mean, it's up to how strong you want to feed and how strong your teas are.
Okay. What do you think of that? What do you do with your teas? Let me know in the comments. Anything else you want to know about nectar, or just, let's just talk. I love you. I'll see you tomorrow. The OCG Fam Show. It's pretty good. It happens every day. It's the OCG Fam Show. See you tomorrow.